It took 3 games, 4 minutes, and 1 second, but finally today against Michigan State, Notre Dame scored an offensive touchdown.
From opening day until the All-Star break last week, every 22 hours there was an event of some sort on this field.
A huge night underway. The world of outlaws are here, and there's another guy, Casey Kane.
More on the new boss of MSU baseball.
Good one.
Like I worked that in. Boss.
I like it.
Boss.
I was avoiding working that in because I thought it was cheesy, but hey.
I'm cheesy.
Oh, okay.
It's my MO.
That's right. We'll introduce you. Find a little bit more about Jake Boss. How about that on the other side of the break?
Could the Lions, though, graduate to their first one of the season?
Well, I will tell you this. It was tied in the fourth quarter, so those are steps at least. But we will find out if, in fact, they could graduate on the other side of the break.
Welcome back to Oldsmobile Park for our WILX live broadcast of the Lugnuts game. Now, if you're watching the game particularly close tonight, you may have noticed that the players are wearing these bracelets here. Now, the idea for these came from strength and conditioning coach Jake Chafee. They're in honor of his best friend, Christopher Fote. Christopher and Jake were walking near Chicago on December 2nd when Christopher was struck and killed by a drunk driver. So Jake brought these bracelets to the team. He said, hey guys, would you not only mind wearing them for the second half of the season, but dedicating the season to my good friend? They, of course, graciously accepted. So now for the rest of the season, the Lugnuts will be wearing these bracelets in memory of Christopher Fote. Back to you guys.
He was the most amazing, generous person I could ever imagine.
Lugnuts strength and conditioning coach Jake Chafee speaks fondly of his friend Chris Fote.
Any place he was, everybody else wanted to be.
Chris's life was cut short December 2nd outside Chicago when he was walking and hit by a drunk driver. Jake and several other people, including Chris's girlfriend, saw the whole thing happen.
I didn't even know until we got rushed to the hospital and they said he was in bad shape, and I found out at the hospital that he was killed.
Chris was a baseball fan. Jake had a plan. He approached the Lugnut players about wearing bracelets with Chris's name and dedicating the second half of the season to him. They, of course, accepted.
Every day I look around at Stretch and during the games and I see all these guys wearing them, and I just think hopefully his family, if they see it, and our friends and stuff, they'll be really, really proud.
But Jake says when the season is over and the players take their bracelets off once and for all, this story will not be over. Remarkably, Jake says Chris's legacy will last an entire lifetime.
She found out 2 weeks after he died that she was pregnant.
4 weeks from now, Chris's girlfriend will be giving birth to their child.
The miracle is that Chris gets to live on through their child. It's good to know that so many other people are behind his memory.
A memory that will last a lifetime. At Oldsmobile Park, I'm Maria Tocco for News 10 Sport.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sports Sunday. We'll talk Lions in just a few minutes, their history-making day that they had. But let's begin with Spartan hockey. After winning just 4 games in the first half of the season, the Spartan hockey team needed something to change over the holidays. Well, they may have gotten the break they were looking for. In the first game of the Great Lakes Invitational last night, the Green and White beat number 18, North Dakota. So could they use that spark tonight against the Michigan Wolverines in the GLI Finals? They did early on. Matt Shepke had 2 goals last night. He had the first one tonight. 2 men in the box for Michigan, and the Spartans jump out front 1-0. The Wolverines notched the equalizer about 4 minutes later. Travis Turnbull ties this thing up at 1. And that was the score after 20 minutes of play. The Wolverines then had the go-ahead goal about 2 minutes into the second. Ben Winnett scores just his second goal of the season. Amazing Blue actually had 3 goals in that second period. Brandon Nerado scores on the power play. And here was the last one of the second. Tim Miller gets this one by Jeff Lurg. The Spartans were long out of it by then, 4-1 after 2 periods of play. 5-1 was the final. The Spartans have to settle for second place in the GLI. So after the win last night, the Spartans hoping to get off on the right foot in the second half of the season, which starts in January. The Lions did something today no other NFL team has done, ever. They went the entire 2008 season without a win, not a one. The worst record in NFL history, a dubious distinction that will permanently stain everyone involved. Let's check out the lowlights. The Lions were already down 7-0, looking to score when Dan Orlovsky was picked off by Wolverines standout Charles Woodson. That would lead to another Packer TD. The rookie Jermichael Finley this time is Aaron Rodgers' target. The Lions aren't a first quarter team, so finally, in the second, they strike back. Orlovsky to Calvin Johnson, just another great catch by Johnson, as we've seen so many times this season. The Lions actually tied this thing up in the second half. Again, Orlovsky to Johnson, but Green Bay added a field goal, and then this in the fourth. John Kuhn scores, and the Packers are up 10. But rookie Kevin Smith had something to say about that. Brings the Lions back within 3 with 7 minutes to go. But 8 seconds later, yeah, that's right, just 8 seconds, the Packers score again. The heave to Donald Driver, and the Packers just about put this thing out of reach. Then Orlovsky is going to be picked off here. It's an appropriate ending. The Lions officially the worst team in NFL history at 0-16. So after a miserable, horrendous season, what do you say?
We have nobody to point a finger at other than ourselves, but they fought.
Always optimistic.
News 10's Maria Tocco tonight says advanced age did not slow some of the campers down one bit.
It's just like a typical football Saturday on the campus of MSU. Players walking by the Sparty statue en route to Spartan Stadium.
Eric Benson.
Terry Braverman announcing the players' names as they take the field. The difference is the participants, just regular Joes who love the Michigan State tradition. The players only have to be over the age of 18. Some are over triple that age.
Probably the camp favorite thing is coming over to the stadium on the walk and then going into the locker room. And Terry Braverman announcing your name. And you're on the big screen running on the field. Now you get goosebumps.
So what about the game itself? Take it from the former players back to coach the camp. Football isn't an easy game on your body.
You feel for what they're going through, because I've been through many a training camp in my day, but to see some of these guys, and we chuckle about it, hey, they got their AARP cards, but they're still going at it strong.
Crossing my fingers I don't pull hamstrings and blow any Achilles tendons.
The guys say even if their bodies make it through the day, it's the camera capturing their every move for all to see that they're worried about.
They show you once and then you do it, and then they put you on camera doing it the first time, which is a little tough. And just hope these things don't end up on YouTube someplace.
Right. So even the older guys, you're not going easy on them, are you?
I need them dehydrated. I need them, gasping for air, and then we've done our job.
For News 10 Sports, I'm Maria Tocco.
A lot was at stake for the number 20 Michigan State Spartans today as they hosted number 12 Ohio State. The green and white are off to their best start since 2003, and a victory over the Buckeyes would make them serious contenders for a Big Ten title. The Spartans coming out fired up in front of the home crowd, but it was the Buckeyes who jumped out first. Freshman phenom Terrell Pryor running it in all by himself for the first score of the game. Then Pryor proving he's not just a running QB. Brian Robisky is all alone in the end zone, and Pryor connects with him. Would you believe it? We're still in the first, and the Buckeyes scored again. This time Brian Hartline is Pryor's target. He runs it in to make this 21-zip. These are the mistakes you can't make against Ohio State. Ryan Allison knocks the ball free, but two Spartans can't get the handle on it, and the Bucks recover. That's going to make some fans unhappy, and that must have been a little motivation for Ohio State. They knock another one in. Beanie Wells just pops into the end zone there. These are all Buckeye highlights, right? Well, that's because the Spartans couldn't really get much going. Brian Hoyer is sacked by James Laurinaitis, and then he's trying to find someone to get the ball to, but you'll see the reaction from the Ohio State guys here is going to tell you what happened. This was a 28-0 game at the half. Kirk Cousins came in on relief duty in the second. He had a little more luck finding Charlie Gant to at least get the Spartans on the board, but it was just a quick fix. He was sacked by Malcolm Jenkins. Thaddeus Gibson picks it up and runs it back 70 yards. The Buckeyes absolutely trounced the Spartans at home today, 45-7 the final. Brian Hoyer is scheduled for a concussion test tomorrow after some hard hits. He also had a hand injury. Not a lot for these friends, Mark D'Antonio and Jim Tressel, to say. Here's what Mark D'Antonio said to us.